Aileen Wuornos, a name that evokes a spectrum of emotions and controversy, remains one of America's most infamous serial killers. Her story, marked by tragedy, violence, and a contentious legal battle, unfolded on the highways of Florida between 1989 and 1990. Wuornos, a street prostitute, was convicted of shooting dead and robbing 7 men she claimed had raped or attempted to rape her. Her execution in 2002 ended a saga that challenged society's perceptions of victimhood, justice, and the death penalty. Born on February 29, 1956, Aileen's life was marred by hardship from the start. Abandoned by her mother at a young age and raised by her alcoholic grandparents, Wuornos faced abuse and neglect. These early experiences set the stage for a troubled life, leading her to a path of street prostitution along Florida's highways, a decision that would have fatal consequences for 7 men and ultimately for Wuornos herself. Wuornos' killing spree began in 1989, targeting men who solicited her services. Each victim was shot at point-blank range, their bodies left along or near the highways, their cars often stolen. Wuornos' arrest in 1991 triggered a media frenzy, casting her simultaneously as a cold-blooded killer and a victim of circumstance. Her trial became a battleground for debates on self-defense, mental health, and the morality of the death penalty. Throughout her trials, Wuornos maintained that the murders were acts of self-defense against sexual assault. However, the jury was unconvinced, and she was sentenced to death for 6 of the murders. Wuornos' case was complicated by her erratic behavior and changes in her testimony, factors that contributed to the public's fascination and horror. In the decade that followed her sentencing, Wuornos' mental state visibly deteriorated. Appeals for a new trial were denied, despite arguments that her unstable mental health and traumatic past warranted reconsideration. The debate surrounding her execution was intense, with some arguing that Wuornos was a product of a failed system, one that offered her little in the way of support or rehabilitation. Aileen Wuornos was executed on October 9, 2002, by lethal injection. Her final words were a cryptic message about impending doom. Wuornos' death closed a dark chapter, but opened a series of questions about justice, the treatment of women who defend themselves against violence, and the ethical implications of capital punishment. The legacy of Aileen Wuornos is a complex tapestry of tragedy, violence, and societal reflection. Her life story has been the subject of numerous films, books, and songs, each attempting to unravel the mystery of her actions and the broader implications for society. Wuornos' case continues to provoke debate on the criminal justice system, the death penalty, and the intersection of trauma and crime. As we reflect on the life and death of Aileen Wuornos, we are left to ponder the depths of human suffering, the limits of self-defense, and the quest for justice in a flawed world. If this exploration into one of the most polarizing figures in American criminal history has intrigued you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that delves deep into the heart of human complexity.